Hello, hello, hello. I think we are live. Yes, we are live. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Okay, we are live. Hello, hello, beloveds, sovereign warriors. Welcome to Transmission Thursdays with Joy. It's I, Joy Muhami, your residential cosmic alchemist, multidimensional healer, ancestral healer, guide, ancestral guide. Yeah. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Just putting on this amazing, amazing, beautiful incense in my field just for some clearings and to activate myself. Okay. Say hello when you join in. Let me share as you are all joining. Hashtag replay if you are here. Just gonna share this publicly to the Tribe of Warriors Facebook group. Oh. So if you're here, please do your check-in. Say hello, let me know that you're here. Let me know where you're coming from and how excited you are with putting in the emoji for money. Put in that emoji as your comment. Oh, this is not working. Okay, that's now good. Come and join us. Just gonna share to the news feed. And if you're watching this as replay, hashtag replay, if you're joining in right now, hashtag Warriors of Light, that is the hashtag for our community. Oh, okay. I can see some comments. Hello, hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. Oh, yeah. Okay, so we've got people here. Where are you all coming from? Let me know where you're coming from. We've got Chenisa from Florida. Amazing, beautiful. Hello, Neo. Hello, Connie. Hello, Sibongile. Let me know where you're coming from today, which city in this beautiful blue planet of ours. Yes, Matlagonala. Yes, Connie. Yay. Hello, Waria Nomvula. Oh, this is so beautiful. Oh, I love the emoji for the money. Subongile. Money, 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 money. Ooh, yes, South Africa in the house. So beautiful. Thank you for joining with our transmission. This is a weekly transmission we do every day for those who are joining us. We don't do every day, we do every Thursday, every week. And this transmission is particularly coming in as a request from Matlokonolo around money. Just so we're going to go on money medicine and how we can have a healthy relationship with money, healthy organic experience of money as genetic path cutters, right? So I was talking to a friend of mine who is a money coach, and I was like, I'm doing this transmission today on money and I don't even know where to begin because there's so much to talk about and to teach on money. It's such a big topic. It's one of the energies that have been manipulated in the world, in such a way that as people, we struggle with money. We have a difficult relationship with money. So money is a big conversation. So to help me, I am going to need you to also ask your questions that you may have about money. I'm going to expand a little bit on the medicine that I want to just share and explain. Some of the things may be they may be quantum, but yeah, I will break down everything. But what will help is for you to also share the questions, concerns that you have about money, because I am actually really good at responding. Like as a generator, my human design is the generator, and my sacral, my core is in my sacral, and I'm here to respond. Like if you ask me questions, that's the best thing for me. It's a very natural for me to respond to questions. So yes to your questions. Okay. Yes, Gwitimelo, drop all that money emoji. I love it. Is that emoji money that's flying like an angel, the angel of money? Okay. So I thought about calling this money medicine for the genetic path cutter. As you all know, I'm very much invested in helping, supporting genetic path cutters, the souls that are here, particularly feeling called to do healing for themselves and for their lineages, their bloodlines. Those are the particular soul that I tend to work with. Of course, I can also work with you if you are not, but it's like you would not come to me if you're not a genetic path cutter. So everyone who's here, I wanted to talk about money medicine in the sense that, one, we do need to realize that we do have a relationship with money, and that just like our relationship with ourselves, with our body, with our mind, with our ancestors, with love, our beloveds, with relationship with God, the higher realms, we also have a relationship with money, right? Money itself is a creation that was created here in the earth. And its origins and the systems of money themselves are not necessarily organic, as in like they run and operate in ways that are fair to everyone, that are right to everyone involved. As for centuries, we've had particular groups of people who are controlling the money, where the money goes, families that have an abundance of money, while the majority of the human race doesn't experience an abundance of money. And money is really about, the exchange of services and compensation for that exchange of services. The origins of it, really, it was about exchange of services. But there is obviously a lot of manipulations that come with that, a lot of like the psychological trappings that may come with money itself. So today I just want to look at 3 things, right? The mindset around money and the belief system work that we need to do to have a better relationship with money. I also want to look at, just drop in some consciousness that we need to shift, as particularly as genetic path cutters, that exist, that we may not notice are some of the reasons why we don't have money, or why money seems to be this issue that we have. And then the last part I want to talk about is quantum leaps, or working in the quantum, in the multidimensional realm to have an organic relationship with money. What that looks like, what is the organic way, how can we begin a healthier relationship with money? This conversation is based on the belief that I personally have that you as a genetic path cutter, it is your human right and divine right to have access to money. It is your human right, your divine right to have an overflow of money coming into your life. It is your human right and divine right to have that abundance of money and to multiply that abundance of money so that it becomes what we call generational wealth. It's also my belief that it's a human right and divine right to understand money in all its full spectrum, from like the technicalities of it, of how it works, but particularly the energetic understanding of money. That is very important. It's also part of the work that we are here to do as genetic path cutters, as souls, understanding the system and also updating that there is a revolution right now happening that is going to change our relationship with money. A new system is being born as we are going through COVID, as we are going through this current timeline. There are two timelines of the Great Awakening and the Great Reset. And in these two timelines, one of the systems that's going to collapse very big, in big ways, is money, the financial system. And it's important for us to know this so that we are prepared, you know, and we start to think very seriously about our money. Yes. And we need to understand it's our physical human right as human beings to have money, enjoy money, and so on. And at the same time, understanding that when we utilize the divine principles, the divine logos, money as a frequency is something that does come into your field if you understand the divine logos and the divine principles of creation and manifestation, organic manifestation. So yes, this is based on that, okay? So I hope I remembered all the things I just said right now, because it felt like it was me channeling something else. Okay, so let's start with mindset, okay? So if we understand that money is an operating physical tool that is being utilized for the exchange of services, then we also have to understand that the moment you are born, you are actually entering the world that is made up of corporations, like what we call the government. You know, when you are born, you have this birth certificate that basically implies that, you know, the government kind of owns you, because, you know, you have to give them that name and they have to register you. And from that moment in your life, you have to work within the systems of the government. I don't think we ever think about that why does a baby have to be registered? Anyway, I could go into the theory of that, but this is connected to money in the sense that a lot of the systems that exist here, they are not necessarily created to help us be sovereign and to be free and to create wealth within our own laws and our own logos. We have to follow through with the governmental systems. And part of the reasons why we don't understand a lot of financial things is because there is almost like a cap, an upper limit that bloodlines are given in terms of like what is the level of wealth you can create, right? There are some bloodlines that have a lot of abundance. The moment you are born into millions and millions and millions of money, and then the majority of the earthlings, that's not the case. And this is the beginning of our mindset around money. The family you're born into, the wealth that they have, and the beliefs that they have about money. When you come from a family that has money, you will have a healthy relationship and expectation that money comes to you with ease, with grace, and it's always multiplying. For the rest of us, though, we enter families where money is not in abundance. As Black communities, money is not in abundance, and that's connected to our history, where we were moved from one area, one land to another land, where our lands were taken, our resources were taken. We understand at this point that the issues of Africa are issues of resources, right? That our resources were taken, manipulated, and we were only given a small percentage. And then the mindset, consciousness that Africans were given, the African or the indigenous person, we are animists. And by being animist, it means that we're very aware of our relationship with nature, that we're here as guardians of nature, and we're to take care of nature and to not manipulate it. And so we don't feel compelled to exchange every single thing in our natural world. But other people have different ideas, and that these people are the ones who are in control of money itself. So this is important to understand as well, that the way that you think about money also comes from where you come from and where you are born. And as a collective, we have this. The other day, I was eating morula foods, and my sister was like, it's so weird that for us, we never thought of selling these morula fruits that are everywhere. But if this was a different place, this fruit will be sold everywhere. And that's because our consciousness as Africa is naturally very connected to the natural and spiritual world. And so because of that, this innate essence, we have also been this natural thing has also been utilized to create a lack mindset, a scarcity mindset, where we feel very proud and comfortable with not having enough, where we believe in only when we transition, when we go to heaven, that's when we will have prosperity. That what we have is what God has provided for us. And this is true in some level, that yes, what we have, what is in the natural world is what God has provided, but we need to understand that we are creators, and that when we're in the physical realm, we are meant to create and multiply in organic ways without really trying to destroy our planet. And so because of that, there are some belief systems that we may hold that do not allow us to tap into this natural creation ability. Some of these belief systems is that what I have is enough. Right? This is a big one for us. Like if I am making 10,000 pula, 10,000 rands or $10,000, that's enough. And by enough, we mean that we are able to, on a daily basis, have the food, have the basic needs, but it's not enough for expansion, for growth, for development, right? We are given the idea though that these are luxuries, developing your consciousness, remembering your history, connecting more, having experiences, exploring the world. These are luxuries. And this was a deliberate belief system that was created through what is called a program. So I'll speak about this program. It's called the scarcity program or the lack program. Essentially, a program is when a group of people go through a particular experience so many times that they begin to believe that that particular experience is what is natural, right? So our people in our history, they went through this process of being taken away from one land to another, where they will have to restart. But first of all, their powers were taken from them. They were limited in how much they could create, right? Whether this was through, it's usually through wars, right? It's usually through slavery or tribal wars or whatever wars are happening in a particular groups. And so with that, being in this limited new land, you only have to think about your survival, and you only have to think about your food. And so our people went through that program. It's like a training someone to think a certain way. They went through this lack where they could go for days without food, they could go for years without enough, and they lived and survived through that. And then when we were born, we continued to go through the program. Even when we were no longer actually physically enslaved, we had the same belief system that scarcity, lack is enough. Like if you could just survive, that's enough. So we exist in the world with our survival instinct, with this lack consciousness. And the issue, the biggest issue I have learned myself is the complete acceptance that the money you have is enough. The complete acceptance equals to you not even trying to change your situation, right? Or yeah, going beyond what you have. And this is not about desiring a lot for the sake of a lot. It's about understanding that actually this was taken from us. Abundance was taken from us, that the Godhead wants you to be abundant and prosperous, because that's how we multiply, that's how we grow healthy, that is how we build new lands, this is how we build the medicines we need, this is how we build resources for ourselves and for our people. But we can't do that if we think it's enough, if we are in a lack consciousness, right? So so this is one of the first thing you need to address with your money as a genetic path cutter, your lack scarcity consciousness. And there are two ways that this lack scarcity consciousness works, of course, because there are always two polarities, right? So there's this way that this works within the masculine, within men, and how this works within women, right? Most of my teachings are based on African experiences. So if you're coming in, you're from a different culture, please, I apologize. But yeah, I can only speak so much to Africa because I have a particular interest in this group, Black people, African people, people of African descent. But so let's start with the feminine, right? The patriarchal system, and how the feminine was collapsed because we were given an ideology of our role in the family. And that role is, yes, based on natural and organic gifts of the feminine, which is that the feminine is a homemaker, the feminine is a devotional essence, the feminine is a creator. So we create the family, the children, and our devotion and our frequency of compassion and kindness makes us suitable for the role of playing the mother and being at home and the homemaker. It doesn't mean it's the complete archetype of being feminine, but it is the strongest aspect of being feminine. And that has been used for the female to only consider that identity as that, the homemaker, but not so much of one who creates wealth, right? And so this started this imbalance where women in general, we do not think much about wealth creation. We have the desire mostly to build family, to find our beloved and build our family. And we may have the desire to have wealth, but for most of us, it's never an overflow. We never think of being a multimillionaire or being a billionaire, because your DNA and having went through the programming itself of thinking of yourself in a particular way as a female creates a certain form of lack where we are okay with not having enough. We're okay with just making 20,000, 30,000, because the desire and the training we've gotten is that the man will be the provider and provision will come from the masculine. Once again, this is based on the true polarities, the true nature of the masculine and the feminine, that yes, the masculine is in his true king energy, he is a provider, he's a protector, he is a guardian, he is a leader, he is drawn to build and create in the physical. This is based on this. However, it's how these very natural things were manipulated to actually separate us from each other, such that right now we do have women who, as women, we have to now provide for ourselves because our kins are not doing what they were naturally created to do, which is to provide for us. So when we're thinking about money, we have to think about how, as a woman, you think about money and how that is a different training from a man, and how for the woman, we have what this teacher of mine, she calls it, I'm looking for the exact name, but it's the, where is the name? Okay, the devotional poverty coding, where as a female, you can make a devotional, like a vow to be poor so that the men can come and literally take care of you. And this comes from yeah, our relationship as the matriarch, as the female, feeling like we have to play this particular role. So there is even a deliberate reason, where a deliberate intention sometimes to not be too rich, to not have too much as a woman, because what men will marry me, you know, we can have those thoughts running behind everything that we're doing. So this is a very powerful code that runs in us, the devotional poverty coding. As Black people is also a big one, because if you have money, this is the story that runs. If you have money, people will see you, will witness you, will notice you. And when you are noticed, you are in a space where you are highly either going to be attacked, right? And you are either going to be rejected and you will not have a place to belong. So there's the fear of being attacked, of persecution, and the fear of not belonging as a female. So we create these limitations of, this is how much I can go, this is how much I can have as a female, because beyond that, I will literally either not get married, or my family will leave me because they will not know how to relate with me with this particular money, or I will be killed. And the I will be killed is connected to what Nicole Gale calls the slave girl. I teach this to my students. The slave girl, it's literally, think of our ancestors who were slaves, who, you know, they had to answer to the master, and for every single wrong thing that they do, they will be gravely punished. And being taken through this process of constantly being collapsed over and over and over because you are a slave, your whole essence being taken from you, until you get to the point of complete surrender and allowing and hoping that someday someone will save you. That was a program as well that was taken through the Black women, or particularly the Black women, through this war timelines. And then we inherited this. And then we act and live our lives like we are still enslaved, which is where I don't know about you, for me, whenever I have to look at taxes, VAT, things in my business, I have so much anxiety. There is almost this blockage in thinking in my mind where I feel like someone has to come and do it for me. And I know I'm operating from the slave girl. Like I shut down my intelligence. I can't think when it comes to that. Whenever I have to think about even expansion in my business, the same thing happens. And that frequency is so alive, especially in Black women. The frequency of someone has to save me, someone has to do it for me. I do not understand it, it's too complicated. But this was not our organic our organic way of existing. It was something that was created to collapse the matriarchal energy from its true ability of manifestation and creation, right? So all these things I'm talking about is about, like, we need to interrogate how we think about money and interrogate our energy, the frequency, the core energy that we move in the world with. And the slave girl is a big one. And it's really about the fear that you will be greatly punished if you did it yourself, if you were witnessed, if you grew, if you became visible. Vangile Makwaka talks about the vow of invisibility, of how we had to survive during those war timelines. It was important for you to not be witnessed and seen, because if you're invisible, they will not pick you, they will not, violate you, they will not kill you, right? So we have to, even now, our ancestors made these vows to be invisible. And that invisibility comes through with our money, where we refuse to go beyond a particular limit because we don't want to be seen, because being seen equivalents to violence later coming. So because of these vows, because of these programs, because of the frequency of the slave girls, we need to kind of like address these energies within ourselves as the matriarchal energy of being devoted to scarcity rather than abundance. Because the most powerful energy that you have as a female, as a feminine being, is your capacity to be devoted. But you having devotion, it's also speaking of that you, of all people, you have the most powerful ability to also create unbelievable things because of that same devotional energy, which means you have the ability to create wealth. But it's, what are you devoted to though? Are you devoted to the lack, the scarcity, not having enough because you're waiting and you feel like the only way you can truly be loved is if someone saves you, if the masculine comes to support you, right? Is that what's operating in your mind? Let me take a break with these consciousness ideas. Okay. Oh, let me know. Yeah. Yes, Akona, welcome back. Yes. Yeah. So let's talk about how this plays out for the matriarchal energy, the feminine energy. Before we go there though, let me speak about the masculine. The masculine, our particular masculine, Black masculine, what happened to our men was that they were collapsed. When I say collapsed, I'm talking about an energetic breaking of our spirit, so that we end up in a survival mode and we begin to operate with our lower consciousness of fear, of not enoughness, of not worthiness, right? Because money definitely is connected to your sense and your belief in your worth. Are you worthy of abundance? It is definitely connected to safety. Is it safe for me to have this much money in my world, in my life, right? It's connected to enoughness. Am I enough for creating this wealth, this abundance? Can I do it? It's where the imposter syndrome comes from, the inner critic as well, that, oh, you're not intelligent enough or gifted enough or beautiful enough or likable enough to generate money. The big one for us, the feminine, is this intelligent enough. That is a big one. And this is why more females who are highly qualified are getting like below par, peanuts, for the amount of work that they do. It's this, because we have this crippling idea that we're not qualified, that we need more qualifications to do possibly amazing things that we could do with our eyes closed. We don't yet connect to the idea that as a devotional being, your greatest resource of knowledge is actually your intuition. You, as a female, you are always ahead of the head in terms of how you can access knowledge from the higher realms, from the spirit realms. So we are innovators in our core. We can have access to information that people don't even know because of this devotional frequency, but we doubt it, right? And this is one of the things that was done to the genetic path cutter. One, the genetic path cutter was made to doubt the intuition, which is the source of your wealth codes and your wealth creation abilities, and also how you connect with your ancestors and the wealth codes of your bloodline. They're very intuitive. They exist within you. What I mean by the wealth codes is that every family has a particular blueprint of creation, how they create. And so because of that, if you utilize your wealth codes, you are likely to create money just like that. If you go against your wealth codes, that's going to be very, very difficult. So similar to how, if right now my wealth codes are very much connected to education. When I educate people, people feel compelled to pay me to further help them with the healing, their knowledge and understanding of themselves. That's the wealth codes of the Mohami family. And I looked at my entire family system. We are teachers, we are healers in my family. If I try to go the opposite side and try to create wealth, perhaps with business that is maybe business where I'm trying to sell these bottles, that is not a code that is active in my family. It will be very difficult for me to create wealth with this. So because of that, our intuition and our understanding of how we create wealth, it was shut down. That's the first thing, shutting down of our access of our wealth codes. Second one is the story that being wealthy is not godly, that God does not want you to have money. The ancestors want you to suffer, that you are holier than thou when you are poor. This one is so big for African healers. I see it everywhere, traditional healers, because they feel like they have the spiritual gift, and that this spiritual gift, it was given by God, and so it should be given freely, right? This is not even just healers, it's also big with artists. So all genetic path cutters, if you've listened to the Cosmic Alchemy, I talked about the different types and how there are at least 12 subtypes of genetic path cutters: messengers, artists, people who are activists. This group of people, we are the people who are often poor and who have really crappy money boundaries and who never ask for their money, who never ask to be compensated for the work that they do. Why do you think that's the case? That's because of a consciousness that happened with the genetic path cutters years ago, where we were given the ideology that money is evil. This is not true. Money is a neutral energy. It is literally, it doesn't even exist. The money is just numbers in your phone. You go to your bank account and they say there is a particular, this is my bank account. I can't believe I showed it to you guys. My FNB. It's literally numbers. Have we ever all thought about how the monies themselves that exist in the world, there isn't that many trillions of this money in physical form at this point. It's all numbers. And you are the one who decide what is the number that you are available to have in your bank account based on your willingness to receive that money, your willingness to know you are deserving of that money, that you are enough for that money, that you deserve that massive compensation. It's all just numbers, and these numbers that are constantly changing. But if in your consciousness you have this story that it is okay for you to have, say, 10,000 rands of pula every month, and that's enough, that will be the money the universe, God, all of creation will co-create to bring to your account, because it's listening to you, right? It's listening to your request, ask and it is given, right? I feel like I lost track of what I wanted to say the other time because there's so much to say. But essentially, the genetic path cutters, you're given the idea of be humble. As an artist, you don't deserve to be compensated. Art is free, healing is free, and. All of these are true. But we cannot deny the fact that we live in a physical world where I literally need to have a laptop, I need to have a phone to even do the work that I do. Where am I supposed to get that? The only way to get that is to create a fair exchange of savings with whoever you're working with. Fair in the sense that you are compensated so that you can continue to share your work, continue to develop yourself, grow, because you have the money to develop yourself. And the person as well, they are choosing and opting in the healing of themselves and investing in the healing of themselves. And so they are paying for that service. It's so simple, right? It's so simple, and we need to shift our mind to that. And also recognize that I've spoken about this. I know you guys know this by now, that there is a real force in the world that does not want genetic path cutters to do the work of genetic path cutting. And so one of the ways that is being controlled is through money. If we don't have money, if I did not have money at all, I wouldn't have this laptop. I had to go buy a new laptop recently. I wouldn't have this laptop, so I wouldn't come and share this information, right? Our healers as well. The reason why people, when they have a calling, they refuse to answer the call, it's because of the poverty, devotional poverty coding that genetic path cutters have, where they're devoted to be poor and they're waiting for the ancestors to provide for them. And I want to speak a lot about this because a lot of people have a limited idea on how ancestors are meant to provide for you. Okay, very important. I'm moving to the next part of the quantum understanding. When you were born with a particular mission to come to planet Earth, to come and do whatever your mission is. That part of the mission includes, yes, literally working to elevate humanity in some way, but it also includes enjoying your experiences, traveling through the journey, the life, the time, the space of planet Earth with ease, with grace. This is the organic way that God and creator beings, gods and guardians wanted you to exist in this planet. That is the organic truth. You are not created for suffering, for scarcity, for lack, and. Right? As you were born with a mission, a blueprint, but you were also born with a support team, and this support team exists outside the third dimension. This includes your ancestors, this includes the angelic beings, this includes your cosmic ancestors, all different types of ancestors that exist across the multiverse, including the highest form of our ancestors, really, it's God, Holy Mother, Father God. All these are your support system. They are here to support your blueprint, your essence, your mission. That is what they were commissioned to all do. If you step into your mission with ease, you say yes to your mission, your support team will support you even with the creation of the wealth. The support team will support you with the resources. When you step into your mission, when you realize you are not alone, you've never been alone, you will start to begin to see the clients coming in. This begins to happen in the complete acceptance and surrender to your mission. When you understand that this purpose is the very reason why you are here. Your support team struggles to support you every time you refuse to step into the mission. They struggle to do that because that is not their mission. They have a mission, which is to support your mission. If you're not doing your mission, how will they support you? If you decide, if, for example, as Joy, I decided to go be a musician, when my guardians are the guardians who are meant to support with my healing, my teaching, how will they help with music when I do not have the frequency, the codes for music? That would be very difficult. That is the level in which your ancestors, your guardians, all the support teams are here to do. They support you in the level in which you accept your mission. And that support is something you ask and it will be given. That support looks like the moment you say yes completely to the mission, even if it sounds crazy to you, even if you know no one who is doing that mission. Because it's your mission, it's your code, you will begin to see the result. The fastest way to quantum collapse, to begin to have a healthy and inflow of money coming in my personal opinion, I started to see that happening the moment I 100% said yes to the mission, to the call. Did I begin to create wealth immediately once money came, once I said yes? No. 5 years ago, I had a calling to create a literary magazine. That has never been done before in Africa. It's an interview magazine. We literally just interview people. And today itself, right now, we are interviewing people to be part of this project. And this project has grown in ways that mind blows me. I have traveled the world because of a project I started with my laptop. Because I had the call, I listened, I did not question God. I do not question my ancestors when they say, you are to do this now. I follow through. And I understand time moves differently in the other realms. It may seem like nothing is happening. You've been doing this, you've tried your level best. But time is different. Divine timing is based on space, on the fact that you're moving through space, and for you to catch up with higher realms, it takes you literally what we call time, because you're moving to the other dimensions, right? But this mission, if you're a genetic path cutter, will ask for your complete devotion, acceptance, and deep trust that you will be taken care of. And obviously collapsing every other belief that tells you otherwise, that tells you you don't need the money, you don't deserve the money. All of that, you have to heal that. You have to heal your ancestors. And you have to stop denying who you are. You have to stop this thing of going from one business idea to the other. You try it for 3 months and then it doesn't work, you let go. You give yourself time, you give God time, you give ancestors time, you give your higher self time in the physical realm, in the sense that when we say time, I mean when you start saying yes today, you may not have clients in the next month or the second month or a year from now, but don't you ever think that nothing is happening. Everything is going according to plan. If you keep to it, you will arrive to a point where the clients will come, the money will come through the clients. But that is based on, okay, something just dropped in now. That is also based on you letting go of the idea and the attachment to numbers. You have to get to the point where you realize, for example, 10,000 pula, there is no difference between 10,000 pula and 100,000 pula and a million pula. They're all just numbers. The only difference is your belief in your deservingness of any of these numbers. You have to let go of the idea that it will take you 100 years to be a millionaire, for example, and not be attached to the numbers themselves, but be completely devoted to the work and know that the work is the source of how this money will stream into your life. Yes, but there's also another almost like a divine gift or divine compensation that happens, which you could never account for, which will feel like miracles for you, where money may come to you not even in the streams you're thinking of, where people, for example, may reach out to you and give you an opportunity you are not even applying for, and money comes through that stream. That kind of experience where you're suddenly contracted to go work and you'll be given this amount of money, that begins to happen when you expand and let go and surrender to the fact that at some level there's a limitation to your own creation of money, and that the higher realms are creating money itself. Hi. And you surrender to that money path, money medicine, and you say, God, I am here and I'm ready to accept the gifts you would like for me to have. I'm ready to accept that you desire comfort for my soul. You desire that I am okay, I am well. You desire that I am within grace, within ease. You desire that I am supported so I can do this mission even more. I can impact more people in my life. And while you're doing that, because you recognize that who you think you are today is made up of the programs and the consciousness, the lack programs and the slave energy and the war timelines, you then realize you cannot create your wealth from that as a baseline. So you have to have a new question, which is, who do I need to become to create wealth for myself and for my people? Who do I need to become? And the answers may not necessarily be fun for you. For example, one of the answers would be that you need to become a person who is not afraid of being seen. You need to become a person who is willing to open the idea of provision coming somewhere beyond themselves, that you can be provided for, not necessarily based on the actions you've taken, but because God will like to gift you money as well from other streams of income you can't even think of right now. Opening your idea of what life looks like and how money moves, and that money doesn't actually move in a linear way. Even you moving from someone who's making 20,000 rands to 200,000 rand, it doesn't have to take you 5 years. It could literally, it's a decision that can happen within a month, 2 months. It doesn't matter, because in the quantum field, the version of you who makes 200,000 and the version of you who makes 20,000, there isn't much of a difference between them, except the other one truly believes they're deserving of that amount, and they're ready and willing to receive it, and they're ready and willing to accept, become who they need to become, which most of the time is actually your true self. Okay. Yeah, that is the transmission. Whew. Let me drink. I don't know what just happened. I had to close my eyes to drop this. Let me know your thoughts. And tell me your questions. If you have any questions, any comments. Okay. Also, let me know what is speaking to you, your aha moments, if any. Yeah, who do you need to become? That is the most important question, because who you are right now clearly is the slave girl, traumatized version of you. Okay. Okay. So let me see these questions or comments. Yes, detaching from the numbers is very important. Yeah. God, yes, God does desire comfort for your soul. Yes. This year, my word has been flow. It is closely related to ease, abundance in every aspect of my life. Yes. Who am I? What do I need to become for me to create wealth for me? The answers might not necessarily be what I need to hear, definitely. I'll tell you, for me, when I had a quantum leap in my business where, well, the first time I had a quantum leap in my business where I literally 10x my income was the first time I hired my money coach, Vangile. And when Vangile told me the amount of money I will have to pay to work one-on-one with her, I thought I will die because I did not have that amount of money. But something made me believe that I could do it. And if I could pay Vangile that amount of money every month, even though I didn't even have half of that money, not even 10% of that money when I signed that contract, I went to God and I said, I am in. Let's heal all the vows and all the contracts and all the programs, because I am doing this so I can do this mission of being a genetic path cutter full time. And the question came when, after I signed the contract, I said, well, I clearly need to make this money every month. What do I need to do? Who do I need to be? The thing is, most of us, we are constantly making money decisions based on the amount of money we have in the bank account. This is why, as I was streaming in this information from the Guardians, that's saying, please stop being attached to your bank account. It's not determining anything except your belief system. This is so true. I did not have that money. And in many instances, I have spent close to $20,000 on my development, and I didn't have most of that money when I started. But I took that as a way for me to leap. In the last 2 years itself, I've had 3 healers, teachers who I had paid a lot of money to. And each time I said yes, something in me changed. I realized I can't keep being afraid of sharing my work with people. I can't, because how else will I make this money? I have to be brave enough to come and do live streams and tell people about my gifts. I need to stop thinking I need more, I need to be more, I need to look a certain way. I had to let go of the imposter syndrome, had to every single day fight my inner critic whenever she was trying to say, oh yeah, you don't have this and this. I said, shh, shh. I'm making wealth here. I am growing. I'm healing my ancestors. I'm accessing the wealth codes of my people. Shh, I will not listen to you. I'm only listening to the voice of my soul and the voice of God, or voice of my ancestors, period. Everything else that is negative, shh, you know? So yeah, that is one of the other ways I've quantum leaped. I invested in things when I did not have money. I don't highly recommend it for everyone, but yeah, that has worked for me every time. Yeah, I just make these big decisions and I'm like, I don't even have this money itself. Where is it gonna come from? And that's when I have seen magic. My ancestors started to create opportunities for me. And sure, you guys, if I could tell you where this money comes from, I can't tell you where it came from, how I paid, but I somehow managed to pay. Why are these dogs crying? Yeah. Yes. So yeah, who do you need to become? What do you need to let go of? Yes. Okay. And also, I love what, yeah, this statement you put here, Sibongile, of, yeah, detach from the statement in your bank account. It is not a reflection of anything except your past, where you've been. Even the bank account right now is a reflection of your past self and past decisions. Moving forward, who do you want to be? Whoever you are going to become is going to change that bank account number. Yeah. Okay. Are we good? Do we have any question? Yeah. Y'all, my ancestors are priests. Like, we actually have churches in Botswana. that is run by the Mohami people. So sometimes the Holy Spirit is like, close your eyes and let us speak. So yes. Yes, Akona, I know. It's just, yeah, that was this Holy Spirit. I just wanted to drop it. I feel like the thing I forgot to talk about was wealth with the masculine. But the masculine is a master of the physical realm. And that what has happened with our men is that they were collapsed, so heartbroken, so removed from that natural need to be loved by the feminine, to be devoted to by the feminine, that they literally put themselves into a cave and started to only think of provision for themselves. But the thing is, that is a very half of that story, which create difficulties with, it's not that full quote. The thing is, there is no power, like the most powerful man in the world is the man who is in his provision energy, because that is the great gift of being a masculine, that you have the ability to provide, to build, you are the architect. But the thing is, what inspires the masculine is that feminine frequency, the Holy Spirit, that is the feminine, right? And if a man, you do not have, what is it that is moving you, inspiring you to build, to provide? If it's just you, it actually does cut your creation ability, your creation. There's a limit to a cap of your wealth itself, right? So I mean, this theory of like men who are married are happier, it's not based on nothing. It's because a man who has something that he's working for is a man who is inspired to go provide and build. All right. So this is not to say go get married, but be devoted to something, right? And that could be your mission. I mean, your mission, if you create because of a purpose, like a man needs a purpose more than the woman, really. If you don't have yet your divine partner, get your purpose. Once you have a purpose, just watch as the king energy moves within you. There's an entire other live stream where I can teach about Heros Gamos, which is about the inner masculine and the inner feminine and how they affect our money. But the thing is, you as a man, you have something called the king energy, which is within you. And as a king, you were crowned to come and lead nations and lead entire countries. And king energy is not about the lineage you come from. Every man has a king within them. But you have to resurrect the king, because that king, naturally, wealth follows him, right? So a king has to have a purpose, a nation, a woman, children, something. And then he comes up, he resurrects within you, and just watch as you begin to suddenly have a purpose. You have to move beyond yourself to create that purpose. Like, it's not just about you. For you, your soul desires something else beyond you. Yeah. Okay, so yes, that's the masculine aspect of it. Yeah. So I used to run Activate the Warrior Preneur, which was my program for helping, teaching genetic path cutters how to be spiritual entrepreneurs. I say I used to run it because I'm currently rebranding it. I'm changing how I was teaching it, and it will probably come back in a certain way. I'm still processing it, because I have learned so much about money that I want to teach these concepts in like a very containable way. right? So I'm going to later share this once it drops in. There's some part of it that has dropped in, but what you guys may not know is that I am insanely good at the practical stuff of running a spiritual business. Like I am, oh yeah. So if you want to go deep, I have opened up my March and April slots bookings. So you can come and do higher mission activation where we get to look at your money. We get to connect and look at all these vows, all these consciousness, how your slave girl is operating, and we get to resurrect the inner king. Every person has one inner masculine within you. And yeah, we kind of map on how you can create wealth. In my journey, I have worked with 2 different healers on money itself, just specifically in 2019 with Vangile, in 2020 with Leah Steele. And with Leah, we were doing multidimensional cosmic quantum work, which to this day, it just blows my mind because I was able to collapse so much in the course with Leah Steele. Right. So yeah, so I am a psychic and I'm all the spiritual things, but I'm also very much really passionate with the mission of ensuring that genetic path cutters are supported as they are doing that mission. This is one of my great passions. So if you want to look into that on how to heal your money and so on, I mean, I do have those 2-hour slots for us to do that. And later on, I'm gonna have a full on program. This program, the reason why I've changed Activate the Warapreneur is that I would like to make it affordable. So I'm restructuring it because I would like as many people as possible to access it. So, oh, these dogs, why are they doing this? Okay. Yes, so yeah, the Activate the Warapreneur is not yet open, Akona, but I am restructuring it. So it used to be a 4 months program. So I'm thinking of making it shorter and making it affordable. So I'm still rebuilding all of that. And it's going to be around us working on becoming well-paid spiritual genetic path cutter entrepreneurs. Warriorpreneur, a warrior who is an entrepreneur. That's where it comes from. So it's not yet in my website. I removed it because I'm restructured or rebranding it. I'm gonna figure out how to do it in ways that totally excite me and that totally help you as a genetic path cutter. But in the meantime, I have multi-dimensional once-off session. If you go to my website and go to the part that says start here, that page talks about the multi-dimensional once-off session. These are 2-hour sessions which you can book. I have now availed my calendar for March and for April because I'll be doing them in March and April, and I usually close them whenever I have a new project, a new course. So, but they are available now. And if you want to work particularly on the money part, you then book for the higher mission activation. And then we will do some planning, and yeah, we will do some energy work as well as the physical planning. I'm a person who literally loves numbers. Like, let's look at the numbers and let's change these numbers. I'm not attached to them, but it's important for us to study them. Okay, so multi-dimensional once-off session. I'll probably share the link here if you want to do this once-off session with me either this month or next month. Okay, yes. Okay, so that's it. I think that everyone is good. Do we have any questions? Let me see some. Yes, Chinisa Ashe. I'm totally with you on that one. Every time I have big shifts and this has come to, well, normal, will have done something beforehand without knowing the how or what is next. Yes, like compiling house plan without knowing how we'll pay for the house, or even getting quotes for some even when I don't. Yes. Oh, I love doing that much. Oh, so let me share with you all about another quantum practice. You know, if you want to jump from a particular salary to a new number in your, you have to begin to act as that version of you, right? People speak about this. What do they mean by this? It's more about the frequency you put yourself in. Whew, yeah. I remember the first time when I was quantum. In fact, when I had to pay my first money coach and I did not have money, I did this thing of, enrolling for gym, Vision Active Gym. And every day, this was insane even for me. Every time I went to the gym, I will buy the shakes, what is it called? The smoothies. And the smoothie was like 50 pula, like 50 rand, 75 rands actually, like almost 10, $7, $8, which I could do them at home, but I will buy them. And because of the frequency, and I actually paid a driver to drive me to gym every single, I didn't need to do that, but I did that. And because I was like, the version of me who gets this amount of money, she has a driver. So I started to act as if I have a driver, but it was a cab guy that I hired to pick me up. And he was charging me like, it was an insane amount of money, but it was 3 times what I would have if I was driving myself, if I just used. But I just wanted to get into that frequency. And I used to literally go shopping. Like, this is when you activate the inner feminine. Go shopping for the sexy clothes in the middle of a Tuesday. Like, all of that was for me to break my stories around how you can't go shopping in the middle of the month on a Tuesday when you have to pay this. You can't actually buy a smoothie for 50 pula every single day. You are crazy. Like, I literally, and the inner critic that I had to fight every single time I do that. Wow, I felt like I was at war. But each time I did that, I will start, like, people will sign up. I swear to you, people signed up. People paid me all of the amount at once. Like, every time I put myself in that new frequency, everything changes, you know? This is not to say it's a practice you have to do, like, but it's something to think about. Sometimes you actually actively have to challenge your belief systems. If you have this story that you are not the kind of person who, who will ever hire someone to drive them, that's crazy. You should try it just for the sake of that, or that you will never ever pay that much. Doing that changes your belief system, because you have now suddenly become a person who is doing that. Paying someone like 10,000 rands every month. I had to do that with Van to teach me money. That's crazy. There is a version of me years ago who would have thought that's insane. But each time I did that, that became my new normal. And because I could pay someone 10,000, it definitely meant that I had to change the amount of money in my bank account. It had to be more than 10,000 to become a new number. So that's also another practice. Yeah. That's another practice that I do. Like, I just do this insane things. I travel, I go for a trip, and I'm like, oh, I don't even have this money. This money should go for something else. This is not a practice to be tried at home, particularly if you have children. Please don't do it. I do this because I'm literally only taking care of myself. Okay, but you don't have to go as big as I did, but just challenge yourself with, maybe you become the kind of person who orders that food for lunch, and maybe you're paying 5 pula extra or 5 rands extra. That would change your energy. Just watch. Yeah. Okay. I will share the link for the one-on-one, beloveds, just now. Okay, my guys have taken me into a genuine healing my money. Yes, numbers are just numbers, but we do need to heal. Yes, oh, yes. Let's look really very deeply into this, how we actually create wealth, and how sometimes if you just do any business because people say this is the business that made that money, that may be the longer route to your money because it's not in alignment with your ancestral codes and money codes and wealth codes. This is something to, I speak a lot about this because I've seen people losing so much money in businesses while other people made so much money in the same businesses and they don't understand why. And it's like, it's the wealth codes. That person, that bloodline know how to make money in that stream. Your people are clueless. Why are you confusing yourself and your people? Just stick with what you know and then develop that, build your business. I committed when I started my business, I committed to working full-time into that one business. Even when I was panicking, I never even tried to go create quick money somewhere. I allowed myself to have the ego death I needed to have, the pain body, whatever I had, until I mastered how to create money as a genetic path character. I have not mastered it, but I am way better than when I started. Way better. I'm definitely not in the scarcity line anymore, right? So that's something to consider. Yeah. Yes, we need provision as genetic path cutters. Yes, let's heal the slave and the diversional poverty coding. Yeah, Ashe. Okay. Thank you, beloveds. I hope that was helpful with money. Let me know what is another topic that you would love for me to cover. Like I said, it's always helpful when I get your participation. Otherwise, I will see you there. I'm going to share the link for those who like to do one-on-one with me. I have like 10 or 11 slots every month because I also do work with my clients, full-time clients. So if you really want to do this, you might want to book as soon as possible, even if you're booking for the end of the month, but just book. By booking, by the way, you're kind of doing a quantum leap as well. That's another quantum leap that you could be doing. So all the best to you. All the best. Let's go get our money. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, Ashe. Bye, beloved.